It's a wrist rest for your computer.
So WWDC 2023 I think it was the longest keynote there's ever been.
For sure.
Over 2 hours. Anyway, we watched it, so we're going to talk about it a little bit. Mao is here. Nick, Dan, Josh, and Chaz are here. We had Alex and Haley, but they had to run off. And Brandon watched it too, but he got work to do. So before we get to the headset, because the headset was kind of like the headlining thing, I thought some of the other updates were pretty good. WWDC has a tendency to occasionally be very meh, and I thought it was pretty good. There's actually good stuff coming to iOS, stuff that seems genuinely interesting and usable.
Stickers.
Stickers. Tap to share is becoming a first-class feature.
Yes.
So that's obviously been in various apps.
Yeah.
As sort of a thing, but now it's becoming a first-class system-wide feature, and that's, you could say it's supposed to, but it's happening. So.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really cool thing. Just the idea that you don't have to load up all of the AirDrop stuff. Sharing the contact card is really neat.
The pros in Apple Silicon now.
Oh yeah, there was so much stuff in this event that I didn't even remember that's how we opened. Is that they were like, hey, Mac Studio isn't dead, and also there's Mac Pro. So the entire lineup, minus Big iMac, has been moved to Silicon, and that's neat. There's a bunch of PCI slots in it, and then otherwise I hate to say it's an empty box, but it's kind of just an empty box.
Bring back the trash can.
But I like the cheese grater.
People hate PCI slots. Otherwise, what was there? iPad?
Health app, no calculator app.
Watch.
Oh yeah.
Watch us getting a visual redesign.
Yeah, the watch changes were really big. They did stuff with AirPods. There's so many products. I think that was the thing that really threw me off, is that I kept being like, okay, well now they'll do the headset, and they're like, but now we have to talk about AirPods. And it's like, oh, that's right, you sell those. And it's like, now we have to talk about the watch. And I'm like, okay, that's right, you have a lot of these things. And then finally, the headset. The headset looks very cool. It has very impressive tech in it.
Yeah.
The tech is great and everything. I just don't like seeing the eyes through the thing.
I think the thing that's so weird about it is that it's not you're not looking through at the eyes. It's like a screen, right?
Yeah.
So it projects the eyes outward, and it looks like your eyes are kind of bulged out a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that's what's so weird about it. But I get why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Because you want to be able to talk to somebody while they're wearing it, but
And then I do like that it covers up the eyes with stuff when you're doing things virtually and not interacting with the outside world. But if you're in AR and you're looking around the room, I could see that being useful for a connection.
They should have just called it iOS.
EYEOS.
Yeah, what is it called?
Vision OS.
Vision OS.
Vision. Yeah, it's
the Vision
not
Pro.
The best name.
Vision Pro. I'll wait for the Vision Ultra.
You can climb a mountain with this
Vision Pro
headset.
just sounds very corporate. One of the execs came up with it, and they're like,
Go to a Vision store. Come to Vision Pro. Get your eyes checked out.
Vision Pro.
The hard thing about it is that, like Chaz was saying, with VR in general, you have to experience it to know what it's like. And this is the same thing. They can show us on the TV as much as they think they can show us, but if you're not trying it out, you don't really know what it's going to be like. I liked the idea, it's interesting because I associate headsets just with gaming, strictly gaming, and Apple did not really, talk about.
They showed no gaming.
They showed basically no gaming.
They showed They showed a traditional game being played with the controller, and they said that they are working with Unity to bring gaming, but they showed no 3D gaming.
Yeah, because they're going full hog on productivity, and that's fine. The productivity stuff seems like it could be and entertainment.
Yep.
Productivity and entertainment. They said that you can, if you just have it like near a MacBook or whatever, like you can just use your apps, and then they showed Final Cut running, and I was like, that's a neat idea, but only if you didn't already have anything. Like, and you still need a computer. Like, you'd have to just not have monitors.
But it does work standalone.
It does work standalone.
For a lot of stuff.
Yeah, just not like...
And there are a lot of people who
Final
just
Cut.
don't have a computer, and find,
Yeah.
phone or tablet stuff sufficient. And they'll find, this sufficient if they end up wanting it.
Honestly, the thing that makes the most sense to me, which, I mean, obviously it would be a very pricey way to do this, but when they showed the clips of the people, like, on a plane, like using that to get away from everything, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I think a lot of people would be interested in owning one of these just for entertainment purposes, either at home or on business trips or whatever.
Yeah. The hard part that we haven't said is the $3,500.
It's $3,500
When we're comparing, to say...
think, how much is the what's that display that they had? It's like the giant ass.
The Studio XDR?
Yeah, how much is that?
$49.99 with a $9.99
Yeah.
stand.
Cheaper, you can get as big as a screen as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were gonna spend it that much, just get the headset.
My thought is, like, if you think about it as a competing what's out there in the VR AR space right now, where the Quest 2 is 400 and the Vive is, 1,000, it seems like a lot. My thought is, like, essentially the VR AR space has been treading water and going nowhere. It's been 15 years. Adoption is not increasing for a half decade. We've had a really cheap thing in the Quest 2, and it's adoption is not it's not taking off. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Right. What's out there right now is not happening. So the issue isn't price that's stopping it from happening. The issue is, there needs to be some level of fundamental rethink if it's going to take off into a space of its own.
Yeah.
And the problem is not price. So in that aspect, I think this could do it. There's enough about it that's fundamentally different from the stuff that's on the market right now. And, just to make that all happen costs money.
I agree with that. Because it's true. Like, VR has been around for... Has it been 15 years?
Well, VR, we've gone through so many different iterations. We went through Google Glass. That didn't happen. We went through the era when, they tried to do phones in cardboard things in front of your face. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
We're currently going through the Quest 2 era where we're just making them real cheap and trying to make it happen. And that's not really happening. It's the best that's happened so far.
Yeah.
But it's not taking off into its own, it's not iPhone revolution. It's not a watch revolution.
Yeah.
And it's been 15 years, and something has to be different, and this is different. So whether it works or not, I don't know, but it could.
It makes me wonder if they are going to make a cheaper version, because it is called the Pro.
Yeah, they're clearly looking forward into developing the whole category out over the next 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Apple has the money to try something like this in a realistic way. And they have an install base of people that already have all the other devices. And certainly they're, even though $3,500 is an astronomical amount of money, for a subset of people, it won't be. And if it feels like it will be advantageous for them in some way, then they'll do it. They unveiled the Mac Pro today, and I think it was $69.99. And that's a lot of money. But the people that are buying those, it's not a lot of money to them. So
Putting it on expense accounts.
Exactly. So
Another thing that I thought that might help the Vision Pro where the other things don't have the help is, like I said, it's going to be in Apple stores. People are going to be able to go in and try it on and get, a specially curated and designed by Apple tryout experience in an Apple store. There's some headsets you can try on in stores, but they're things that got sent out to Best Buy, and the Best Buy employees are just reading some letter and maybe setting it up right or not. But, the experience of trying it on in the Apple Store is going to be very curated. They're going to be specific things that are designed to make this look good.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think that, honestly, I didn't know there was anywhere you could try VR stuff.
I mean, it's not a lot of places, and the place it is, it's in third-party stores almost exclusively, so it's not a good experience.
Yeah. We'll see. It said available early next year, and I know that I had been reading an article that was like the headsets are going to be available at WWDC for journalists to try out and write about, and I'm really interested to see what the folks that aren't Apple have to say about it, because it's weird. Watching all of this takes me back to however many years ago it was that Google Glass came out, and it didn't turn out exactly like the future that we were promised on the Google Glass stuff. And can Apple do it? I don't know. Maybe. But regardless, it seems like they're going to try. So I guess we'll just see what the next.
It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, what the next year or two of updates looks like.
Yeah, it more just inspired me to just set up my VR. I have a Vive Pro.
Yeah.
Just to be oh yeah, I can do all kinds of stuff, and I don't really mess with it that much.
Well, you should hook it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, that even the VR units that have sold, a lot of them are just forgotten about.
Yeah.
So it's we'll see. It's a market that is not working right now, and maybe they can make it work.
Well, it won't be for me. But if they do come to an Apple store, I would go out of my way to try it, because I would love to just experience it. But it sounds like that'll be a ways down the road. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming over and watching it. This was also great because I've never had a chance to do the Apple event with a bunch of people in person. Usually it's just me and Mao.
Yep.
You were here too.
Yeah. It was just really long.
It was really long.
There was so much.
There was so much. Yeah. They also dedicated a lot of time to the headset.
Yeah.
Over half an hour at the end. So it was a long one. Okay. I need a snack.
Hey!
Yeah, that's something. It's a neat idea. Mm-hmm. This is Magic Maze. It's a game that you play cooperatively,
but silently.
There's no communication except for angrily doing this, and everyone controls a direction, and you have to hit certain points on the map, and then you have to escape. It's neat.
We escaped.
We did it.
So the next round gets very scary, because the next rule that gets added is whenever the timer flips, you have to rotate your actions, so you don't have the same action for the entire game.
Gross.
Okay. The entire day's kind of been a lazy day. After the Apple event, we hung out, we talked, we played a few games. We did go to the pool briefly. We weren't there very long. I didn't even actually get in. I sat and did a little work on my phone. We were probably at the pool for maybe a little more than half an hour. But it was fun to hang out with everybody. It's always fun to spend time with everyone. And today was Chaz's last full day. Tomorrow night he'll be flying home. So it's been really nice to spend time with him. I've missed Chaz a lot. Yeah. But not anything really to talk about other than, the Apple event was the big thing. I'm super curious to hear what you all have to say, especially if you watched the full keynote. It was in fairness to Apple, and I know that the bullet point here is going to be the price tag of the headset. I know that there's going to be plenty of people that don't even watch anything or read anything, and that's just going to be the thing that they go to. But if you watch the keynote, I actually thought that the keynote as a whole was really good. I thought the additions that they made to some of the software was really, really good. It's exciting that the Mac Pro has finally made the transition, so the whole family is now in Apple Silicon. There's nothing Intel remaining, the whole Mac family. I thought that the updates to iOS were very compelling compared to what some previous years have been. And like the headset looks really cool. I think that's my big takeaway here is that like, even though I can't imagine a future in which I purchase one of these things because it is astoundingly expensive, the tech looks really cool. And in the past, Apple has always done a really good job of having things very, very polished by the time they, release a product. So like, I trust that they probably are creating something really cool. And I look forward to getting a chance to try it once I can do so, early next year in Apple stores. That'll be exciting. I can't wait to do that. I think it'll be a lot of fun. But still, that's a lot of money. That's a whole lot of money. So it's just going to be interesting to see what happens. I think Chaz was right when he was talking earlier about how, the headset market has not, it's picked up a little bit, but for the most part, it is still extremely niche. And Apple is taking a very different path here, which is really interesting of like, it doesn't seem to be about price because even though the headsets are cheaper, people aren't picking them up. So let's just do something very, very different, very niche. So we will see if that flies with folks. And I know that in the meantime, the bullet point across social media and everything is just going to be like, what an astoundingly expensive headset. And like, it objectively is. That's a very expensive piece of tech. But it does look cool. And it's interesting because I've associated headsets with gaming, and this is going like very firmly in a productivity route. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see if that is the future of computing. Do I think it is? No. No, it seems like it'll still be pretty niche, but I've been wrong before. I'll tell you one thing though. It's not going to be the future of computing at that price. But I'm also sure that Apple knows that, so I don't know. I'm sure they've got things that they're thinking about, but for now, we'll see what next year brings. What a weird time to be alive, though, right? From the tech perspective, it is cool. It looks like it delivers on a lot of stuff that Google Glass kind of like prototyped like a long time ago. So the tech side of it's very interesting. It's just, it could be dead in the water because the adoption rate may be so low because of the prohibitive price, but I don't know. I'm sure they have a vague idea of what they're doing. All right, that's it. I am tired, and tomorrow is another day. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, talk about the Apple event to your heart's desire. And let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?